Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another episode of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by and checking out today's video. And we're going to be talking about line size in today's video, guys. Everything you need to know about it as far as the things that determine the size of line that you need to use for your technique, because there's quite a few things you have to take in consideration. So in keeping with the Fishing Teacher's model of trying to teach people that are getting started in the sport and don't have a lot of experience, we're going to give you guys some good foundational advice for choosing the right line size. And also, guys, if you're looking to buy any line, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. They got some good sales, Black Friday sales online there if you want to check them out. Good way to support the channel also by using that link there. So much appreciated. Okay, guys, let's talk about the different factors that determine line. Now, all of them are important. You can't say one is more important than the other, but a couple of them you have to take in consideration is, first of all, the depth that your lure is going to run per your line size. Now, if you're fishing a lure that dives, jerk bait or crankbait or something like that, the depth that lure is going to attain will have a direct impact or a direct correlation to the line size, the line diameter. The lighter pound test that you're going to have, the deeper the lure is going to run, and vice versa. The heavier line that you go is going to allow the bait to run shallow. For example, if I'm fishing a jerk bait, if I throw my jerk bait on 6 pound test line, I may get my typical Megabass jerk bait down to 7, 8, 9 feet on 6 pound line. But if I was to throw that same bait on 20, I might only get that bait down around 4 feet. So that's a big consideration. Sometimes you want the bait to go deeper. You need that bait to go deeper, and sometimes you don't want it to go deeper. So if you're throwing a square bill crankbait around a shallow lay down log in dirty water, you don't want the bait to go deep, so you can use heavier line. And vice versa, if you want to get that jerk bait deeper, you have to use lighter line with that. Now, doesn't really have quite the impact if you're fishing a slow bottom bait like a Texas rig worm or a jig, but it still has an impact because the diameter of the line is going to alter the fall rate of your, say if you have a jig on there. If you throw a 3/8 ounce jig out on 25 pound test line, it's going to fall different, a little bit slower. And if you put that same jig on 8 pound test line, it's going to fall more vertical and a little bit faster. So that's another consideration. And again, one is not better than the other. It just depends on what you're looking for as far as in that specific situation. Another consideration, guys, is your casting distance. The lighter the line you use, the farther you're going to cast. If you have 8 pound test line versus 20 pound test line, you might be talking about a 20% difference in your casting distance. The heavier line's not going to cast as far with that. And that's another determination if you need to get that bait way out there. And then also the break strength. You want to use line, there's a fine line between using a line that's too heavy and too light per the cover you're fishing. Because what you want to do is you don't want to have the line to be too heavy to where it takes away some of your strikes. Because even though like fluorocarbon line is pretty much invisible, in very clear water situation, 25 pound test line is going to be more detectable to a fish than 6 pound line. So what you have to do is analyze the cover that you're fishing and try to decide, okay, what is the lightest or the heaviest line I can get by with here that's not going to affect either my strike numbers or getting the fish out. Say, for example, if you're flipping thick grass, obviously with a 1 ounce sinker, obviously you can't use 12 pound test line. You need power in that situation. So you got to have that heavy line. If you're fishing a little shaky head worm on points, you don't have much to get caught up on, so you don't need the heavier line. So you can go lighter with that. So it's a constant balancing act with it. But when you're trying to determine your line size, guys, just try to look at it as giving you the balance of best of the both worlds. You want to have the heaviest line that you can use that's going to allow you to have higher odds of getting that fish in and not breaking off. But you don't want that line to take away from your strike. So it's sort of like a fine line. You have to work there with it. But the more that you fish with it, the more you get a feel for it. As long as your lures are running well, getting down to the depth that they talked about, then you're usually doing the right thing. So anyway, guys, hope it helps out, and then we'll talk later. See you.